All right, guys, well, I'm back today with a very impressive and innovative target solution from Shooting Target 7, their brand new SuperLock system. This is an awesome setup that involves hangers and plates that allow you to really control the sway and flow of your target, as well as making all of the attachment points bulletproof so you don't shoot down your targets. This is a very elegant way to set up a targeting system, and it's greatly appreciated right now because if you follow the channel, you'll see me shoot at a number of different ranges. And the very first range I was shooting at, probably about 6 or 7 years ago, was a small private range. Back then, I actually found Shooting Target 7, bought some of their targets. They were great bang for your buck, and they're still holding up great today. Fast forward to 2020 and the range I currently shoot at shut down. So now I'm going back to the family land to set up a private range so I can control my own access, which required me to set up a pistol and a rifle range. So I started browsing the internet again. Sure enough, Shooting Target 7 popped back up again, being a great value for money. And then I saw this new system. I actually reached out to these guys to talk to them about helping set up this range. They gladly supported the channel, so a big thanks to these guys for sending this out. They also started really digging in and talking to me about their SuperLock system, and man, am I impressed. If other companies don't do something, they're going to be left in the dust because this is a great shooting solution. Let's talk about the specs and features of this new SuperLock system, show you guys its use down at the range in a little bit closer detail, and talk about all of the performance upgrades and why you would want a system like this. And before we get too far into it, I do want to talk about a coupon code that they generated specifically for my viewers, 704 Tactical, for 10% off your order. The other thing I want to mention is if you guys spend over $99, you'll unlock free shipping in the continental US. So that is great. A lot of times you can get an impressive target setup for a little over $100 from this website, get that free shipping, then use that coupon code to save yourself even more money. It's a win-win for everybody, and it also lets you know I sent you over when you use that code. Now, there are too many targets on their website to go over everything, but they still offer traditional targets in a wide variety of thicknesses for whatever caliber you need, and their website does a good job of explaining what targets you need to get for what calibers you may be shooting at them. For me, it was really simple. I got some of the thinner ones for the pistol range and some of the thicker ones for the rifle range, but I'll let you guys look at their charts because they do a much better job of explaining what you need to buy. But everything comes in at an affordable price. Moving along to the SuperLock system, we're going to be focusing on today that SuperLock gong setup as well as silhouette setup because that's what I'm using at the range. In a nutshell, you'll buy whatever target you want from their SuperLock setup with the SuperLock keyhole. At this point, you'll get the SuperLock Hanger. The SuperLock Hanger itself comes in at right around $14.97 for the rifle version, and then you can get it a little bit cheaper, right around $12.97, I believe, for the pistol version, and that's just going to be the thickness of this piece. You can actually use 1-inch conduit that you can find at any hardware store. I cemented 4x4s into the ground, bored a hole in them, and ran that conduit through, but there's a million ways you can attach the conduit. Then this actually slides over the conduit and controls the flow left and right. In a second, I'm going to be showing you guys some shaft collars that can go on either side of this to control sway. Those are also available on their website, and I'll give you a close-up look when we're actually out at the range to see its function. Now, this SuperLock Hanger system comes with everything you need but those collars, and this is a very innovative design because no matter what thickness you buy, this is the same SuperLock. If it fits into these grooves, that's the side that needs to go up against the target to lock it in securely. This actually prevents the target from swaying side to side too much, and then this keeps it flush and flat with those shaft collars to keep it flowing nice and even. This allows you to rattle off shots at these targets without them smashing into each other or flipping around or doing crazy things that targets do on chains. I want to stress that point. If you ever shot targets down at the range, especially when you're practicing maybe speed reloads or double taps or triple taps on targets, it can be rather frustrating when your target goes completely sideways after the first shot and then you have to wait and slow down. Now, That gives you an element of dynamics training in your training, but for me, I'd rather get a solid, stable, swinging target than having something that's flopping around, getting tangled up with the targets right beside it, and that's one of the huge benefits of the SuperLock system. The other thing is, if you ever shot enough at chain targets, you'll either break through the chains if you didn't buy one strong enough, or you may hit a bolt, or it's just rather frustrating to lock everything in there. When you're looking at this front profile, this is the only thing you can hit, and it is 100% bulletproof, especially if you get the ones rated for what you're shooting at. If you're shooting rifles, get the rifle SuperLock Hanger. Pistols, get the pistol SuperLock Hanger. But you can see how innovative this is. You're never going to shoot down this target unless you completely blast through the conduit it's hanging on, or smash through your 4x4s or whatever you decided to hang. They also have target hangers to where you can use them temporarily and use different attachments to set up a conduit target stand that you can take down and transition from spot to spot. I'm also going to be showing you some hard bar setups. If you want to get the really smaller gongs, we'll focus a little bit on that. So kind of enough talking and looking directly at this. I do want to roll in some B-roll footage down at the range and explain a little bit more in detail about why I love these SuperLock targets so much. So you can see the overall understanding and design of my setup. Again, the 1-inch conduit, the SuperLock target hangers and the silhouettes, as well as the shaft collars that control spacing. They secure with an Allen key. Again, this SuperLock system allows it to really control the sway left and right, allowing you to space things a little bit closer for a more compact and tidy range without all those chains hanging around each other and getting in the way. Again, this allows you to kind of make a more compact range if you don't have a huge area to hang chains. Everything hangs very nicely, and it allows you to get a good gap between the conduit and the target. And because the nature of these SuperLock target setups, it actually tilts the target slightly down, so when the bullets hit, the spalling goes down and not back towards the shooters. Now, Super Target 7 has an entire list of things you can and can't do, how far you need to be away, and things to do to avoid damaging your targets with specific distances away from the targets depending on the velocity you're shooting at them. And overall, guys, I haven't damaged anything yet. I've been following the guidelines pretty good, but I'll show you guys shooting them with a rifle in a minute. We might have been a little bit closer, but they worked out great. You can see a little bit closer view of the back setup right here and how well everything flows nicely, locks in solid, and allows you to get a good angle on that target facing slightly downward. Again, I really want to stress that SuperLock system in the back controls sway left and right, so you can really hit those targets and not worry about them bumping into each other, giving you a more pleasant shooting experience down at the range. When you're looking at the top of those lock systems, you can see how they cup over. Now, these are really interesting because if you do have a target with something other than a SuperLock hole at the top, maybe like a 1/2-inch hole, a lot of these are going to work still for some of those aftermarket targets, so you may want to take a look at that section. They'll explain in detail on videos across their site what will work. You can see a little bit closer look at those shaft collars. Now, I've found that they're not 100% necessary if you're just hanging a couple spaced far apart, but it is a nice add-on if you want to grab it. They slide perfectly over that 1-inch conduit and locks everything in if you want a tight and compact spot like I'm doing down here at the range. For me, I didn't want to space out the 4x4s too far, so having those shaft collars really improved everything I was doing down at the range by spacing things out nicely. Now what we're looking at is the hard bar setup. It's slightly different, but they come in at about $8, and you can hang these very small gongs on the end of them. They're going to be bulletproof also, and they have a wide variety of versions, but they still use the same principle of angled target design and the shaft collars to line them up perfectly. I definitely recommend those, especially for like a plinking range or if you got a precision rifle. It's a cheap way to really hit some small targets and have some fun. You can see again how stable these are and how freely they float around on that conduit. They just push back and forth nicely without running into each other, especially if you're hitting them on the edges and the sides. You can just keep rattling off those shots very fast. So right here you can see me double tapping these with 9mm at about 10 yards. Hitting them, they really flow nicely back and forth, and you can see if these were on chains, they'd already start crashing into each other and throwing off the drill. After that initial hit, they start evening out smoother, so you can again do a quick reload and then re-engage your target. For me, this gives you better real-life training on what would happen in a personal defense situation than having a target flop around on chains. I'm at about 50 yards now, hitting these with a 7.62 by 39 semi-bimetallic jacket. So this is the Tola ammo, so it's got that bimetal jacket, which does a lot more damage to targets, but these guys came out great. It's hard to see in the videos, but there is no dents, no dings. It is absolutely a smooth finish over these targets. I am super impressed at the quality and how long these things are gonna last. Again, the other ones I had at that first private range work great, and these things are still doing amazing. I love the fact too, you can be really innovative with your conduit depending on how you want to hang it, and it still does an incredible job of keeping everything locked up solid. So in a nutshell, guys, if you're setting up a range, I would invest in the SuperLock target system. After using them, I completely understand why they work so well. Even if you have to spend a little bit more money than some of the other just basic hanging targets that you would have bought, it's going to pay off in the long run, especially if you're going to be shooting a lot down at the range. You want something that's going to last you a long time, and I will never have to replace these. They have an amazing warranty, and they also have, again, great guides on their website to explain every single thing you need. Inevitably, I'm going to miss something in this overview/review of this product, but they do a good job of posting videos on everything from setting up the targets, target maintenance, again, safe shooting distances, and how to pick a target for you. And they also really explain a wide variety of ways to use this SuperLock system. Again, if you guys decide to buy anything, you can use that coupon code 704TACTICAL to save you 10% off your order. Hope you guys like this video. Let me see what else you want to see set up down at that private range. We can do some interesting things, and Shooting Target 7 has our back. I'd greatly appreciate them. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.